All right, let me check and see what we got.
I don't typically get sick unless I tell people that I don't get very sick, and then I get sick.
Hello, everybody. And good afternoon, and welcome to the Woodlands Yoga Studio. In case you don't know, I'm Sue, and we're going to play around today and see if we can sort out some things. But first, some commercials. I just want to say again, I'm so grateful and thankful for all the people that continue to donate to our studio to help us pay the bills, the rent, and the utilities until we open up. And in case you're wondering, it looks like we will be opening up on May 18th. Stay tuned for more information. And I'm just going to say I have a couple people behind the camera today joining me. Do I dare say who, or do you want me not to say who?
It's fine.
Yeah, okay, Brandy's here and Morgan's here joining me, and it's always nice to have company. And if you have any questions, or anything popping up on there, to see any questions real
It
quick?
says, oh, it's just Mary is watching.
Okay, all right, excellent, all right. So I actually went to film this class several weeks ago, and I was the only one here at the time, and halfway through the class, Facebook kicked us off. So I ended up teaching the class to my camera to nobody for the last 30 minutes. So when Karen asked me today, she says, can you teach my class this afternoon? And I said, sure, and I thought, well, I'll just redo what I did. But on the other hand, the past 4 days, I've been taking a workshop with Christina Sell, who was one of my teachers, and so I looked at the lesson plan and I kind of thought, I can redo some stuff here. So I'm going to bring you some stuff that I learned in the past 4 days, which is really kind of nice. So I coined the phrase peaceful strength, because it is definitely, we were just talking out here about how chaotic it is out there and people are going crazy, and when we can find our own strength from within, it does send a sense of peace and clarity to our spirit. And so I wanted to work on that, cultivating that today a little bit. And because I don't know about you, but when I'm feeling strong in my body, I do have a sense of relaxing. I'm not so full of anxiety or just edginess. So we're going to work on that today and see if we can't find some peaceful strength from within. So go ahead and sit up. And I'm on a block and on my blanket, and it's a nice way to sit up because it lifts your pelvis and gives a sense of elevation to your spine. Go ahead and close your eyes for here a moment. And take a nice deep breath and let everything go. Do this a couple of more times on your own. And as you breathe, feel how your lungs expand to the side and the back and the front. That they really have three-dimensionality to them. Feel how the lungs fill from the bottom up, and how they exhale from the top down. One of the things that happens when we become anxious is that our breath shortens and we begin to breathe shallow. So by tuning in and focusing deep within our breath, we're able to slow down, and we're also able to find a sense of peace. Let the skin and muscles softly drape over your bones. Let your legs and sit bones ground. Find a sense of steadfastness in your seat, as well as a sense of lightness in your heart. And then softly bring your hands up and press the soles of your palms together. Rest your thumbs on your sternum so that you can feel your own vibration. We'll chant 3 rounds of Om together, but first clear your throats if you need to. Then take a full breath in and out. And draw in again. Softly bow your head in the direction of your heart, and just release your hands down slowly, and let your chin come to your chest. And just feel the weight of your head gently pull on your neck. And if you feel like you need to move the head softly to the right, do so. And then softly to the left. And you can do this a couple more times. And then bring it back to normal and drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Inhale, bring your head up and over to the left. And then inhale, bring the head up again. Take your right hand out to the side and lift your left hand up. Now round a little bit into your back and draw your left hip down. And then roll open and look up to the sky. Inhale and come back to center and pause and feel a difference between the sides. Walk your left hand over as you take your right hand up, round a little bit and reach out with that hand and then open up. And gently release. So come off of your block and place your blanket maybe at the back of your mat and have your blocks at the front of your mat and come onto your backs for a little happy baby. Place your feet on the mat, scoochie your shoulders towards the back of the mat and get a little length in your torso. Pick the knees up and slide the hands behind the knees for support. And now you can gently rock. Now notice, is the tailbone way up, or can you find a sense of neutralness where the pubic bone and navel are on the same level? And then slide your hands up over your knees And let your knees come a little more forward, and you may have to pick your shoulders up and allow the back to arch a little more. I call this a suspension bridge. So the knees are pushing into my hands. The hands are holding the knees and resisting. The arms are straight. I've got an arch in my back. And again, you can rock a little side to side around that sacrum. And then gently release. So as you place your feet on the floor, and you can take them a little wider, we'll do some pelvic tilts here. So curl your tailbone up to the sky, and then exhale, tip your tailbone down towards the front of your mat. So we're just doing some pelvic tilts here. And notice if the vertebrae are moving in clumps on your spine, or can you articulate each vertebrae? In fact, you can begin to use your hands a little bit and take them up over your head. And when you come down, roll down through each vertebrae, and then arch your back a little more. Inhale, articulate up. Exhale, and roll down. So pelvic tilts, or whether we would call this supine cat-cow, all we're doing is working the extension and flexion in our spine. One last time as you bring your hands all the way down to the earth. Now walk your feet a little wider and begin to gently do some windshield wipers. So this afternoon, or wherever you are in the world and you're watching this, we're just going to kind of move a little slow, warming up. Kind of rotate on those heels. As your thighs go side to side, you can take your hands out to T formation. And on the last one, take your knees over to the right and just pause here. Now crab walk the right shoulder a little to the right, and maybe the left foot a little to the left, so that you get a deeper stretch here across the iliopsoas muscle that runs from the top of your quad all the way on the inside of your pelvis and attaches to the back of your spine. Then slowly release, pick the knees up, take them over to the left side, and you may have to crab walk those shoulders over a little bit. And really try to get a nice stretch here in the right side. And gently come back to center. Once again, pick your knees up, little half or little whole happy baby, and rock side to side. Then put your left foot on the floor, slide your right hand to the inside of the right heel. Let this right thigh externally rotate outwards as you begin to pump half happy baby. So the thigh, or really the whole leg, remains at a 90-degree angle, and it's as if I'm trying to put that right thigh on the earth. And you can kind of hold it there, pushing the heel into the hand and the hand into the heel, so that you have a sense of balanced energy and strength in that leg. Then bring that right ankle across and lay it on top of your left thigh. Lift your fingertips up and draw your shoulders to the earth and take your hands over your head. If you would like, intertwine your wrists so that your palms face each other. This is to take the hands out of the equation so that the legs work actively, not passively. But before I lift the left foot up, I'm going to externally rotate that right thigh away from me as I pick the left thigh up and push the left thigh towards my heart. At the same time, I'm going to push the right thigh away. Flex your feet, spread your toes, as if what we call a pointed foot, which is half pointed and half flexed. And then gently release, put your left foot on the floor, your right foot on the floor, and allow your knees to open and get a nice long stretch here. Little bigger back bend in the low back. Slowly lift the knees up, put the feet on the floor, pick the left heel up, lay the ankle on top of the left thigh. Once again, before I pick that right thigh up, I'm going to push that left thigh away from me so I get a deeper external rotation in my left hip socket. Use the power of my right leg to push against my left ankle bone. So this shin now becomes parallel to my body rather than kind of diagonal. So we want that. And you know what? If you have a hard time getting that parallel, take the left hand and roll the thigh away from you. Help it rotate externally. And then gently bring that foot down, bring the other foot down. Open the knees up one more time for a supine Baddha Konasana stretch. And gently release. Bring your hands behind your knees and rock up to half boat. Here, holding on to the knees, engage your transverse abdominals. So you might have to cough a little bit, and when you do that, you'll feel those abdominals. And then gently release. Put your feet on the floor. I'm going to turn and face you for a moment so you can see this next move. With the feet on the floor, I'm going to take my right hand between my legs to the outside of my left foot and pick up my left foot. Now, think of you pushing on the gas. As you push on the gas, lift up through the spine, round your back, and as you push on that left foot, you're going to get a stretch across the right shoulder. Do you feel that? Yes, the more you push, the more you round. Oh my God, you get to round. Yes, and release. That came from Desiree a couple weeks ago. So take your left hand to the outside of the right. I can use my right hand here to give me a little bit of steadfastness as I pick this half table or half 90-degree angle. Now as I start to push, I'm going to round that back. And the more I push, and I mean I've got some pretty powerful legs here, and they're pushing, and I'm stretching across that left shoulder and down that left mid-back. And gently release. Come around to child's pose. So swing the feet around. Part the knees. Bring your big toes together and reach your hands out. So let's be a little wavy with our child's pose here. Let the elbows be wider and broader. Push into the earth like you're trying to make your bed, and encourage your hips down. So we're going to begin a little flow here. As you inhale, you're going to walk your hands maybe 2 inches forward. I'm going to bring my knees a little closer together and come into a gentle up dog. Knees are still on the floor. Then round the back like a cat and sit back. Inhale, come through cat, up into a gentle up dog. Exhale, round and push back. So do this a couple of more times at your own pace. Just seeing how things feel. So it's afternoon here, and I don't know if you've had a real active day or whether you've just kind of laid around all day. Whatever it is, your spine will thank you. One last one. And even in this last one, you can kind of sway like a hammock. And then come up as you tuck your toes. Reach around and pull those little toes out. Bring the legs together and come into Vajrasana. Excuse me. Or what we affectionately call fire toes. Yeah. And see if you can sit back on them a little bit. A lot of people, when they first come into them, they hurt a lot, and I see them here. So if you can kind of creep back in and then maybe bring your hands up or take your hands behind. Now interlace your fingers, broaden your elbows, lift your heart, lift your chin, and you're going to dive down to rabbit pose and place the crown of your head onto the earth. Let your hands float out over. Then inhale and come up. Lift your hands up over your head and interlace towards the sky. Where I can feel that today after 4 days of doing Christina's intensive, we did almost 10 back bends every day. Take your hands behind you. My upper arms are sore. Inhale and lift up. Exhale, dive. Use your core as you come down. Head goes towards the earth as you take those hands out over. And then inhale and come up all the way. Interlace, palms up to the sky. Now leave your left hand up and bring your right hand down to the ground and do a gentle backward crescent. So I'm not going all the way back like I would in camel, and then come up. Leave the right hand up, left hand comes down as I slowly reach over towards the left. Inhale and come up. Bring your hands down to your mat. Walk them forward and give some length into your side body. Lift your left hand up to the sky. You can rotate your heart open. And then as you dive down underneath, lay the left shoulder on the earth. Reach your left hand to the right and bend your right elbow up to the sky. Inhale and release. Lift your your right hand up. Thread it down underneath. Elbow up to the sky, reaching with that bottom hand and arm. And then gently release. Setting yourself up for downward facing dog. See that your hands are slightly out in front of you. The knees are slightly behind so that you've got length here in your side body. Now as you press into the earth, you're actually pushing away, and then allow the arm bones to integrate into your torso. So your torso comes down. But I don't lose the sense of pushing. There is connection and integrative energy here. Tuck your toes, lift your hips as you feel your own strength and push into downward facing dog. Bending one knee and then the other. Slowly walk your dog. And I'm sure all of you out there who have dogs have walked your dogs 2 to 3 times a day. And he's probably looking at you going, not again. Come back to neutral. Bring your feet closer together. Bend your knees like a downhill skier, and then draw the thighs back as you press into the earth and get more length in your dog. Try that again. So press away and then melt into it as you bend your knees, draw your inner thighs back, and lengthen through your dog. And then come forward into plank, and you can lower your knees down, or full plank if you want, and lower all the way down to the earth. And let's do a little back extension here in Sphinx. So lengthen each leg to the back wall by rolling that inner thigh up to the sky and laying the tops of the feet down. Arms are in railroad tracks as you claw the earth here. Now, as you engage your legs, you'll feel your knees come off the floor, your core tightens and engages, and you begin to pull the rib cage away. And then gently lower down, place your hands, push yourself up, downward facing dog. And then come down to your knees. Now if you've got some cranky knees, you may want a blanket for this, and you'll need both of your blocks. So we're going to start off with the left foot on the block, because this will show more to the audience. And we're going to go into a vertical position on the down thigh. Normally we're in this lunge in our enjambé where this is at a diagonal. We actually want this at straight up and down. So lift your hands up and clasp your elbows. So root down into your feet, engage the muscles of the legs and pull them towards each other. Lift and lengthen and bring your elbows towards the left. So I'm just getting a nice stretch down the right side of my torso. Inhale and come back to center. Undo. Change sides. Bring your right foot on top of the block. And just observe, does this feel any different on your psoas muscle than what you normally do? Bring your arms up again, clasp in the opposite direction. Root down as you lift up. Engage the legs, scissor them towards each other as you lean the elbows over to the right. Inhale and come back to center. Lower the hands down. This time you're going to take both blocks, put them on the left, and put the left foot up on them. I'm now getting smiles from the girls here. Kind of lulled you into that, didn't I?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah. So see, we're not doing this big stretch across here, but yet we're getting length through the psoas. Elbows come up once again. So you root down, scissor the legs together, reach up and over to the left if your left leg is forward. Inhale and come up, undo your arms, move your blocks over to the right, put your right foot on the blocks. Now you can have the back toes tucked under or flat. What gives you a sense of groundedness? Then lift the elbows up, clasp. As you root down into your legs, scissor them together, then pull into the floor of the pelvis, lifting up and over to the right. Inhale and release. Take your blocks, put them to the front. Take your blanket off your mat. Set up for downward facing dog. This time, as you come forward into plank, find that sense of strength. So the hands push down and towards your heels. When you draw your hands out and towards your heels, or in and towards your heels, I've heard it both ways. Either way, I feel the transverse abdominals fire up. You can lower your knees down or do a full plank. So we'll move my blocks forward again. Come up on my left arm, lengthen each leg to the back wall behind me, and bend the right knee and grab hold. Fingertips point down, and we'll lift my sit bone towards my heel, and my heel towards my sit bone. Push in and lift up, because a lot of people like to hang out down here on the shoulder. So I'm going to push away, and at the same time, draw that foot towards your sit bone. Get a nice quad stretch here. So click your toes into your hand and your hand into your toes on that back foot. Exhale and release. Let's go to the other side. Reach around, grab that left foot, press in, lift up. Sit bone moves towards the heel, and the heel towards the sit bone, and then push into the earth. And gently release. That felt so good. We're going to do that again. And I think Morgan said what'd you do, ride your bike? Ran. How many miles?
3 miles.
3 miles. So your quads need this.
Yes.
Reach around, grab, and bring that foot in. What will help is if you push the bottom of your quad into the mat, you might find a stronger stretch. And gently release. Let's go to the last side once again. And release. Downward facing dog. So if you want to jump or walk, we're going for Malasana. Bring one foot or the other or both to the outside edges of your hands as you lower down. Take your feet wide enough that you can lower your heels to the earth. In fact, if you cannot lower your heels, you can put a blanket underneath your heels if you need it. Now, grab the outside edges of your mat and pull the mat forward. Squeeze the legs together. Fire up those inner thigh muscles. At the same time, lift your heart. And gently release. Lift the hips up. Take them side to side. So we haven't done much with the hamstrings yet. You can take your block and put it right in front of you. Place your right hand on the block and bend your right knee. Lengthen through the spine and open up your heart to the left. Take the left hand up. Turn the palm towards the front and then bring the arm over the ear. Draw the left hip back. And gently release. You might shift the block just a little bit to the left. Bend your left knee. Now root down into your feet. Lift up into your core. As you turn your torso, lengthen through the spine. Lift the right hand up. Turn the palm towards the front as you bring the arm over your ear. And gently release. Now, take your hands behind your calves, grab hold of your wrists, bend your knees.
You can set your torso on your thighs. Now squeeze the shins together as you move the thighs back and apart. Draw your sit bones down towards your heels, so not to aggravate that hamstring attachment. So you get more focus in the hamstrings rather than up at the sit bones. And gently release, hands to the earth, half Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way. And hands into Anjali Mudra. So I'm going to turn face the camera for this next part. So stand with your feet hip distance apart so that your hip sockets and knees and center of your ankles and the second and third toe all line up. Lift your hands up, bend your right elbow and take hold of it with your left hand. So see if you can root down, engage the muscles of the legs, pull up into the core, and gently tug on this right elbow. So we're kind of getting a half Gomukhasana stretch here in the tricep. And gently release, hands come down, roll the shoulders out. Inhale, reach up, bend the left elbow, grab hold of it. Once again, lift your toes, engage your legs, pull up through the core, through the heart, and then tug with that arm a little bit. And gently release. So one of my favorite poses is one-legged chair because I love getting into the glutes and the hamstrings. So we're going to shift over into, I'm going to go onto my right leg, you're going to go onto your right leg, and we may not be mirroring, but whatever you do, make sure you're on your right leg and bring your left ankle up. And then forward fold down into a one-legged chair. So once I'm down here, and you may want to use your blocks, so I'm not worried so much about balance. Some people like to work the balance, but here I'd rather work the glutes. So hook the foot around the upper arm and see if you can lift your left knee towards your left armpit. Keep that and draw your left hip back. And if you want, you can take your right hand behind to your leg. Make sure your right knee is more over your right ankle and less over your right toes. Softly release. You're going to lower that right foot down into a cross-legged Uttanasana. Inhale and lift and lengthen. Here, squeeze the legs together. Feel the strength in the legs. How it holds you as you lengthen through the torso. Exhale and fold. Then inhale, when you go to rise, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze all the way up, all the way up. Take hold of your left wrist and pull over to the right for a cross-legged Tadasana stretch. Inhale and come up. Exhale, lower the hands down. Now just lift the front heel and step out of it. I'm going to bring my blocks over so I can show you what it looks like when you use blocks. So I got a lecture from Christina during the webinar, all of us did, that she has determined that intermediate advanced people should not be told to get their props. They should know. And they don't. So I just want to make sure you see this. So we'll shift over to your left leg. Bring that right foot up as you forward fold. Come into a one-legged chair. Hook the left toes around that upper arm. Then start to lift that right knee up towards your armpit and then pull back
but I'm really using the right toes against my arm. In fact, I'm using my left arm against the toes, and I can actually push that elbow out and get a little deeper into that glute on the right side. Then gently, you're going to lower that foot down. You may want to shift your blocks over and come into a cross-legged Uttanasana. Lift and lengthen through the spine. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Here we go. Now really squeeze and make your legs strong as they support you and rise up all the way. Grab onto your right. Well, let's try. I guess maybe I had the wrong one the wrong time. This time it feels better to grab the left again. I think I had the wrong one, didn't I, Brandy?
I think.
Yeah, I think so.
We went this way.
Yeah.
Now we're going this way. So we should have the right.
It happens.
Yeah, it does.
And gently release. And then just lift the heel and step out of it. So come to the top of your sticky mat. Place your blocks up there. You may need them. Bring your feet closer towards each other, wherever it's comfortable for you. Lift your hands up into Kali Mudra and sit into chair pose. And then exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, half Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, bend your knees, walk back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, up into cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, step the right foot forward, lunge, and then the back foot to the front foot, Uttanasana. Inhale, half Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up all the way. Feel the strength in your legs as you come up and hands into the heart. So I've got one last prep. And you can go to a wall anywhere in your house. And we're going to do a little articulation for the hip to prepare for half moon. So placing whatever hand you have on the wall, your outside leg is going to lift up. High knee. And then take it to the side. Now rotate it so that the foot comes up towards the back and slide your hand along until you turn your hips on its side and take the knee back, and then extend the leg, draw the heel in, take the knee to the side, lift the knee up, bring it to the front, and set it down. Let's try that again. Knee up, to the side, rotate the hips as you take the knee back, in line with your hips, open them up, straighten the leg, curl the leg back in, bring the knee around to the side, knee up, and then to the front and down. We have one more. Inhale, lift up, open to the side, rotate down, open up that hip, take that knee back, straighten the leg with firmness, draw the heel in, bring the knee back to the side, then the knee comes up and to the front and release down. Turn, face the other side. Inhale, bring your outer knee up to the side, rotate, bring the hips around as you take the knee back, and then extend the leg. Draw the heel in, bring the knee around, up to the side, to the front, and lower down. Inhale, up, side, rotate, back, extend. and lower down. One more. Up, side, back, in line with the hip, extend, heel in, to the side, knee up, to the front, and lower down. Come on back home. Come to the top of your sticky mat. Bring your hands together into prayer. Pausing here for a moment. Lift your toes and send your energy down. Then lay them gently on the floor as you engage the muscles of the legs and pull into the core of the pelvis. Extend back out as you draw your hands down. Lift them up. Exhale, forward fold. Step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up. Draw the knee into the chest and round. Extend the leg back out. Draw the knee in. Inhale, lift the leg back out. And this time, swing it all the way through. And spin the back foot down. And come into down dog lunge. So walk your hands towards the upper right corner of your mat. And notice is your left hip hanging out. So here, as you step into your left foot, draw the energy of the mound of the big toe on your left foot towards the mound of the little toe. And feel how that brings the sit bone into alignment. Now, walk the hands towards center and turn those left toes in towards midline and come into Pasara. Then, lift and lengthen. Hug the legs in. Lift those ankles. Squeeze those shins like you were holding a block, and then move the thighs back and apart. Exhale and fold. And you may walk your hands back for a moment. Keep the legs strong. Draw your sit bones down. Then inhale, walk the hands. You're going to actually shift into that back knee. I'm going to turn those toes out about 30 degrees. Bend that knee. Front foot revolves upward. Toes move upward into a modified Skandasana. Pull your kneecap strongly towards your hip socket. And then gently shift forward, put that foot down, step back, downward facing dog. Step the left, or lift the left foot up. My bad. Then draw the knee into the chest and round. Exhale, extend the leg up. Inhale, draw in. Exhale, extend the leg up and swing it all the way through for a lunge. Swivel the back foot down. Come into down dog lunge on this side. So again, stepping into that right foot, putting weight into it, isometrically draw the mound of the big toe towards the little toe. And feel how that brings your knee and hip into alignment. Lift the back inner thigh. Then walk the hands towards the center. Sorry for the glute shot to the camera. And exhale and lower. Inhale. Lift your torso. You're going to turn those back toes out a little bit. Roll that front foot up towards the sky as you come into a modified Skandasana. Now to protect this knee, I'm going to engage that front kneecap and pull it up. Inhale, shift forward, come back around, downward facing dog. Take a child's pose or a vinyasa of your choice. down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg up, swing it through, lunge, stretch, spin the back foot, warrior two as you come up. So same thing here as we did before. Step into this leg, isometrically draw that big toe mound towards the little toe mound, and lift this inner thigh back and apart. So here's the thing. This is a lunge leg. This is a Pasarta leg. Now bring the back hand down and reverse your warrior. Coming back through neutral, bring the elbow down, turn the back hand up, bring it over your ear. Engage those abdominals. Down to the earth, downward facing dog. Other side, lift the right leg up, swing it through, warrior two, coming up. Stepping into this front leg strongly. Draw that down to the big toe towards the little toe. Back leg is a Pasarta leg moving out. Reverse your warrior. And coming back to neutral, bring the elbow down. Arm turns up and comes over. Downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up, warrior two again. Coming all the way up into warrior four. Now, send your energy into that front leg to straighten it by pushing into the earth. Bringing the hands back to center, reaching out and down into triangle. And you may want to grab your block. Bring it right underneath your shoulder. Now, if your heart is facing the floor, see if you can lift and lengthen through the spine and turn your heart towards the camera. Now, turn the palm up and bring it all the way over your ear. Hand down to the earth, downward facing dog. Right leg up, lunge stretch, back foot down, windmill up. Warrior two again. Really root, find that steadfastness so you have freedom in your upper body. Oh, warrior four. And now push in to straighten that leg. Engage that kneecap. Now as you reach out and down all the way, hand to the block or to the earth, back palm turns up, first to the sky and then over your ear. And downward facing dog. Okay, last side, we're adding on, same thing again, and then half moon. So lift the left leg up, lunge stretch, back heel down, coming all the way up to warrior four, straightening the front leg, reaching out and down into triangle, back hand comes up. Here we go, top hand to your hip. Step the back foot in as you move your left hand out 30 degrees from your little toe and strongly lift that back leg up. Top hand comes up. Gaze can stay on the earth or move to the side or up to the hand. Now, if you think you might pick up that bottom hand, you may want to move your gaze back to the floor. If not, bring your top hand to your hip,
Step all the way back and come down, downward facing dog. Last time, right leg up, warrior two. Warrior four. Straighten the front leg. Reach out, down, lowering down into triangle. Pull into the core, make your legs firm and strong. Top hand comes to your hip. Shift forward as you move your right hand out 30 degrees and you lift up. And if you're feeling good, maybe bringing that hand off the block or off the floor towards your heart. And then lower all the way down, downward facing dog. Come through a vinyasa or take a child's pose. And then lower your knees down to the earth. And come around to a seated position. Time to get a drink if you haven't. So bring the soles of your feet together and manually roll the bones and the flesh of your thighs in. Then you're going to pick your hips up and slide them a little forward. Bring your hands right beside your hips. Firmly push your feet together. And as you do that, you might feel a sporadic action in your thigh bones, a sense that it's rolling inward. But the shins have a sense of rolling outwards. In fact, if you try to roll the shins outward, you might feel the outer hips fire up a little bit. Yes? That's kind of neat, isn't it? Yeah. And gently release. So for this next one, I normally don't sit up on a blanket, but I am today, and I'm going to encourage you to sit up on a blanket for this next one and come into Upavishta. Upavishta Konasana. So I'm on the blanket, and I'm going to slide a little forward so that the blanket gives me some traction on my glutes and pulls the floor of my pelvis backwards. Sitting up nice and tall. Going to your left leg, walk the hand out, left hand out slightly, lift your right hand up. So we'll do this in stages. So here, even though my heart's to the center, I just got my right hand up in the air, reaching over. Then I'm going to roll my heart towards that left leg and start to reach with my left hand. Maybe I can reach my ankle, my toes, or the outside of the foot. And it's okay to feel this hip lifting. The right hip's going to lift. Use your left hand and push in with your left hand to push your left hip back as you draw, just like we did in the beginning, through that right upper back. Bend the elbows broad, and it's not about going forward. It's really about lifting up and then folding. So as I lift up, it's a cow pose. Then I hinge forward. Now I can draw my right hip back anymore. It's still not on the ground, but the action is there. Inhale and come up. Turn towards your right leg, right hand out to the side, lift the left hand up. Hearts first to the center. As I lift up, I rotate towards that left leg and start to bring that left hand down to the right ankle or foot. Use your right hand and push
into the earth. When you push, you actually can draw your right hip back and your left torso forward. Then lift and lengthen into cow pose. As you exhale and fold a little more, engage your knees and draw the legs towards the core of the pelvis. Inhale and release. Bring the legs up a moment, do a little windshield wiper. Now, if you find in fire logs you have a rounded back, you're going to stay up on your blanket. I'm going to come off, but I'm going to bring my left leg parallel to the front of the mat and bring my right foot on top of my left ankle. Now, if you've got a right knee that's coming up close to you, put the block in front of the left knee and put the foot on the block. Otherwise, you can be right here. So we've got Dandasana feet again, as if you were stepping on the gas with both feet. Take your hands behind you. Push in with your ridge tops and lift and lengthen through the spine. Lift and broaden through the collarbone. Again, think of cow pose rather than cat pose. Feet engaged, legs engaged as you hinge forward. Maybe this is all the further you need to go, that you feel enough of the stretch. If not, maybe come a little lower. When you get so far, you can bring one hand forward and the other hand forward. Claw the earth and see if you can lengthen. Externally rotate those arms up and out. So I'm taking like the eye of the elbows and scooping. The same time, I'm pushing the feet apart and engaging my core. Maybe you can bring your elbows down and pull them back against your shins. Still lifting and lengthening. No rounding until the final end when you let your head come all the way forward. Having a sense of strength and stability in your legs and a freedom to stretch and fold in your upper body. And then slowly release. Undo the legs. We'll do a little windshield wiper again. And then bring your right shin parallel to the front of your mat, left leg on top. And again, if this left knee is up here and won't go down, take your block, put it in front of your right knee, put your foot on the side. And once again, feet are strong, legs are strong. I'm really engaging the muscles and pulling them into the core of the pelvis. Take your hands to ridge tops, or kickstand hands as we call them. Push in and lift and lengthen. Then, preparing through cow pose, not cat, but cow, hinging forward, using your hands to help you a little bit. Then bringing one hand out and the other hand out. Clawing, opening up the collarbone, scooping the eyes of the elbows up to the sky as you bring the elbows down to the earth. Hook your toes firmly, engage those legs, move your inner thighs back and apart, and then softly let your head come on down. Then inhale and come on up. Undo your legs once again, and we're going to come on to our backs for a little happy baby. And I'm going to turn the lights down here just a little bit. Draw your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, and rock side to side. Maybe forward and back. Place your hands on top of your knees like we did in the beginning. And as you massage all the way around your sacrum, explore any of those areas that might be a little tender and need some TLC. And then place the feet on the floor. Draw your right knee in. Place your hands behind your right thigh. Give yourself a hug with that knee and let it move out to the side a little bit. Slide your left leg out upon the mat. And then bring that right knee a little back more to neutral so it's not so close to your shoulder as you push through the right heel to straighten the right leg. Now you can point and flex and circle that right ankle bone around. And then draw the toes down, but at the same time you're pushing the heel up to the ceiling. See if you can split that action and also draw the heel down toward your sit bone. Curl your head and shoulders up off the earth and lift your left leg so that it's just floating. As you slide your hands up the right leg, see if you can bring it any closer. Elbows move out wide. Then as you lower down, bring the leg with you, lower the left leg, let the right leg come any closer. Then slowly let go of that leg and let it float all the way down as you take your hands over your head. And just feel and observe any length or release in the right side of your body. Is the right leg closer? Maybe the right hip is closer to the earth. Maybe even the right rib cage. On an inhale, draw your left knee in, wrap your fingers around the back of the left thigh, and you can move it around in the socket. Give it some hugs, just seeing how it feels now. And then coming back to a neutral position, push that thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh as you push through the heel to straighten the left leg. Draw the toes down, but push the mound of the big toe towards the ceiling. Draw that left heel down. Then curl your head and shoulders up off the earth. Slide your hands up that leg. Lift the bottom leg up for a float. Maybe take the elbows wider and bring that leg any closer. Then curl back down, bring the leg with you, lower the right leg, release the left leg, and lower all the way down to the earth, your leg and your hands. See if there's any sense of equanimity now between your left and right legs, left and right hips, left and right rib cage. Bring your hands around by your sides. Lift your heart. Curl your shoulders under to support you. Let your legs be slightly wider than your hips, and your feet to move away from midline. As you settle into the earth, feel the sensations of the practice in your body. From all the muscle energy and all the organic extension. Let that all go and settle into the earth. Bring your awareness to your face as you soften the skin on your forehead, all around your eyes, nose, and mouth. Release any tension you have in your jaw. Let your teeth part. Let your tongue rest. Allow those eyelids to encourage the eyes to turn even deeper down into their sockets, and then move to deep within your heart. Ride the wave of your own breath as you softly inhale, gently exhale. Shavasana. Keep your eyes closed as you begin to deepen your breath. Bring life back into your toes, into your fingers, into your feet, into your hands, into your legs, and into your arms. Lift your hands and arms up over your head and take a nice long stretch. Then slowly draw everything in towards your heart and roll to your right side or your left, depending on what you would like. And just pause there for a moment. Savor the sensations of the practice. The movement of energy through your body. Enjoy that feeling that you experienced not only in the strength, but in the comfort of peace. Roll your heart towards the earth and take your hands and push yourself up to a seated position, coming around, drawing your hands together in front of your heart. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Hopefully we'll all be together soon, very soon. But stay safe, do the right things, eat right, get sleep, be healthy, get out and walk, and most of all, come and do yoga. For the light within me bows deeply to the light in each and every one of you. Namaste.